Hey guys, what's up? In this video, I'm going to show you how to play the jungler role properly in Mobile Legends. A lot of players struggle with jungling, whether it's knowing the right path, handling invades, or just managing the pressure in the game. That's why I made this video to guide beginners and even intermediate players so you'll have a clearer idea of what to do as a jungler. After I finished taking my blue buff here, I used my first skill in the bush because earlier I noticed Martis was there. I did that so my teammates would know that there's an enemy hero hiding in that spot. But I left right away since I didn't have much damage yet. If I tried to help Badong there, I'm sure I would have just gotten picked off. By the way, in this game, I was up against a trio, and I also had a trio on my team, but I wasn't part of them. I was really playing solo here, and honestly, it felt a bit sad. Selena used her skill here, but I was able to dodge it quickly. If you watched my last video, you'd really know how to avoid enemy skills like that. Since the turtle was about to spawn, I immediately went down to farm first before the turtle fight. The only problem was that because the enemies were a trio, they already had someone zoning me right away. Badong and Sylvana were also there, but the issue was that they weren't level 4 yet. So what I did was just fight back since I couldn't escape anymore, and I still managed to take down Chang'e and even gain 240 gold. This is the hard part, and I hope you can also learn how to handle situations like this, especially if you're the jungler and the enemy's invasion is really intense. At this point, I just went back to farming, but our score here was already 4-11, and only 3 minutes had passed. That's when I realized this game was going to be really difficult for me. Just look at our map, it's like we were already quarantined inside our base, and it was still the early game, but as the jungler, you really need to find a way, so I went straight to mid instead. I just couldn't let myself miss out on farming. The thing is, I also didn't know which of my teammates were the trio. Since it was already the second turtle, I immediately went to the bottom lane, but the enemy's zoning was just too much. I mean, who could even take the turtle in a situation like that when all 5 of their heroes were already there? So what I did was just ignore the turtle and head straight to my red buff, but even there, they were still zoning me. Badang tried to use his ultimate here and managed to set up 3 enemies, but the damage wasn't enough. Then our Sylvana also used her ultimate and was able to take down 2 of them. That's when I went in, but I didn't realize there was still an enemy hiding in the bush, and I ended up getting taken down. This game was really tough. It would have been easier if I was part of a trio, but I wasn't. After clearing my blue buff here, I immediately went to mid, hoping I could pick someone off, and I wasn't wrong. Since I was able to take down their core here, I immediately went straight to the bottom to try and secure the turtle. But at this point, what was on my mind was that I'd rather just farm instead. However, when I saw that the enemies were all at mid lane, I decided to try taking the turtle. Still, I told myself that if they suddenly disappeared from mid, I'd back off right away so I wouldn't get picked off. That was my mindset at this point in the game. But since I got hit by Moskov's ultimate, they immediately knew I was going for an objective. So I went straight to my red buff instead, but they were there again and tried to invade. But since they were overextending too much here, I just decided to fight back because I already had some items. After I killed Selena, I immediately chased down Martis, and Yu Zhong also ended up getting taken down with them. At this point, I was honestly really frustrated. I just waited for my ultimate to go off cooldown here because I was really planning to dive him under the tower. I did get taken down there, but it doesn't really matter because I gained a lot of gold from it. So next time, if you get invaded, try poking them with your skills instead of just running away, because sometimes they get too confident when they have numbers on their side. And right here, I managed to secure the first Lord, but Selena must have been feeling really confident because she even used her flicker right in front of me. So I just went ahead and fought back, and I ended up taking down their core along with her. I just finished off Chang'e, then healed up a bit with lifesteal from the Lithowanderer before going back to chase her down again. By the way, be careful with invading, because it's not always effective. What I mean is, when you invade too much, your own EXP, gold, and farm get delayed, and this is the kind of situation that happens. It would only work if the enemy you're invading just gave up right away. Here, we slowly started to recover. Like I said earlier, invading is fine during the early game, but make sure you're still farming properly, because if you keep invading and only look for kills, once it reaches the late game, you'll end up at a disadvantage. And here, since I had been focusing on farming earlier, I was already close to being full build. At this point, I was confident I wouldn't need to run away even if they showed up, because with their lineup, no one could really take me down. Plus, I already had a rose gold meteor. Moskov tried to use his ultimate here, but he just got taken down that easily. And since they were already short on numbers, I decided to dive in and engage. I also tried to chase Martis here, then quickly turned back to go after their two mages. Like I mentioned earlier, since my items were already complete, I wasn't afraid of them anymore. Take note, I was the same one they kept invading so hard earlier. After I took my blue buff here, I went straight to the Lord so we could finish the game, but then I noticed Selena, so I just kept chasing her down, and after that, I started picking them off one by one. And that's how the game turned out. Even though I was pressured hard in the early game and kept getting invaded, I didn't give up. I focused on farming, made the right decisions, and waited for my items. In the end, I was able to turn things around and carry the game. So if you're a jungler, always remember, don't panic under pressure, stay patient, and focus on getting stronger.